Alrighty then. So, make sure my mic volume is not terrible. Very cool. I had two playbacks or two people watching and they are gone. Anyway, so this week we're going to continue with our Adobe Illustrator exploration, and I'm gonna focus on what I like to call reverse engineering artwork or fixing something. So I can think of a few things. I can think of a few things that like this becomes applicable because I know there's several times when maybe you're like a graphic designer or you're aspiring to be a graphic designer and you've been given some artwork. Could be a client of yours. Maybe you're trying to fill the role of like a web designer and they give you like their logo, and the logo is just some small PNG file or JPEG file that you can't scale up. It looks really blurry, something like that. So that's like one scenario. Or maybe you have someone that wants to laser engrave their logo on something or waterjet their logo out of something. That happens to me a lot, more than I care to have it happen. Again, for those of you that don't know, when I'm not mentoring here with Go Create, I work on the Air Force Base, and it's very common for people to show up with some form of artwork that they're expecting to have laser engraved into wood or on a cup, or they want to have like a plaque done and they want me to water jet like this design out of metal or whatever. Just completely unrealistic expectations, just thinking that, hey, I can just show you a file and in 20 minutes I'm going to get this thing back, and that couldn't be farther from the truth. And I've been at Go Create several times where I'll see people with artwork and they want to print it out on like a massive banner. Maybe they're like a new startup and they've got this logo that they designed. I don't know, it could be like Windows Paint or something. Or they inherited the logo from someone, I don't know. But then they try to do it on a banner, and because they don't have the right file types, it can only be scaled so much. A lot of times they're JPEGs, and they can only be scaled so much before you start seeing the squares of the pixels. So when this becomes a problem, really honestly, the file type that you want is going to be either like an SVG, or it's going to be an EPS file. Or in this case, if you have access to Adobe Illustrator, whether through your own personal ownership or if you use one of the Go Create computers on campus, you're going to have like a new format called Adobe Illustrator or .ai that you can pretty much do whatever you want. So this week, honestly, again, get yourself cozy in front of the computer or TV, whichever platform you're working with, and as I usually say, get some refreshment of some kind. In this case, I'm rocking my traditional cup or bottle of San Pellegrino. All right, let me switch some screens here. Let me show you what we're working with. So we have Adobe Illustrator opened up, and I'm going to go ahead and show this background screen to drive home a point. See here. Okay, I just had to text my family upstairs to tell them to quit stomping because it's destroying my audio. Alright, so I have this background put in place, and this is really just for me to drive home a point. So let's say I wanted to place this logo. Wouldn't it be like nice if I can get rid of some of this extra white background around the sides here? Or maybe like I'm trying to create a like a layout. Let's just pretend that this was a let's pretend this is like a flyer where I'm gonna list out all of the clients that I've worked with. So I'm just gonna lay all of these things out. Not all of them, but you know, a majority of them. So I know you guys have seen this in the past. Someone will come up to you with like a brochure or flyer, or you'll see it on the bottom of some website where like this is a thing. They're literally, you know, or even better still, in order to hide this lack of, you know, I don't know, ownership or whatever, you'll sometimes see this thing where people will take a layout and they'll cheat by just doing this. Right? And they add like a little white bar behind it. And so, for you guys, you're going to appreciate some of the ability of what I'm going to be showing you today. But then like also there's some things that I'm going to show you, you know, that you can take this artwork and then you can turn around, scale it to whatever size you want, and make it something you could use for the, like on the laser or the water jet or a plasma cutter, or maybe you want to put it on t-shirts. So yeah, let's get to reverse engineering some artwork. So by the way, I'm using mostly military stuff because number one, that's what I've been given a lot, is really bad like military graphics. And number two, and I'm not trying to like bag on my own people too much, but we're like really bad about creating artwork and not saving it in a format like that could be given to people who come in a couple of years after us. So this is kind of like the perfect scenario. And if you ever start a squadron or a business or something, design your artwork and put it in a file that's like gonna be future proof, so people can get a hold of it and like actually do stuff with it. All right, so rant over. I'm gonna go ahead and hide this background again, and just for funsies, I'm gonna get rid of this, and we'll start with the easy one first. So Adobe Illustrator has a really interesting tool at our disposal that we can exploit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hold the shift key. I'm going to drag this out. I want to scale it. I want to scale it pretty good. And then I'm going to go ahead and center it. This one is a decent enough JPEG file that we're not getting too much blur. Let's see if I can zoom in. Until I zoom in, now we're starting to see these jagged lines, and this becomes a problem. Because what if I wanted to turn this into like a, you know, huge 6 foot by 8 foot banner? It's going to look like garbage. Close the door. All right. So the most obvious approach to fixing this. Oh yeah, look at this. What's up with this random thing here? Like, I wonder if that was intentional or if that was just a mistake that didn't get caught, right? So there's a few different ways we can approach this. I'm just going to try to start with like what I think is probably obvious stuff first, and then we'll work our way into it. So we'll hit image trace. It's on the right hand side in the properties tab, and we'll start with high fidelity photo, and I'm just going to change it. Let's see. Yes. I'm going to change it to show you the different approaches that Adobe Illustrator is going to take to reverse engineer something, or to trace it, as they say. So this is, I think it's traced already. So I'm just, here we go. I want to view the outputs here. So view tracing result with outlines. Yeah, so here you can see like Adobe has gone through and they've basically traced everything. And it looks like it got it relatively easily, especially because this was like such a big JPEG file, and the colors were fairly, sharp and full of contrast. So I think, let's see, I think that's one method that could work. I just want to go ahead and check here. There's this thing with the paths, right? So if you remember from last week, I was creating like a bunch of different shapes just using the path or the pen tool. And you might have remembered when I was creating the Cartman, and if you don't, that's last week's video, so you could just jump over to that. But when you're creating those paths, like you can put them on top of each other or right next to each other. And so when you're image tracing something, there's this option down here where it says the method is you can make them abutting, or you can make them overlapping. So sometimes I like to use abutting, and sometimes I like to use overlapping. Abutting is kind of nice because if you have something really, really complex, like let's say you're maybe tracing like a JPEG image of a face or something that has like a lot of shading. What's going to end up happening is you're going to have like, several shapes stacked on top of each other, and it's really hard to find the one that you want to get to with everything stacked on top of each other. So it's easier sometimes to pick abutting, because then the shapes are right next to each other versus stacked on top of each other. Anyway, high fidelity photo is quite a lot of, there's probably way too much put into that. So let's try low fidelity photo and see what that gives us. So I can, I wonder if I can zoom in here. So you'll see, looks like we're getting 3 paths. We're getting, looks like they created like 3 separate paths for that white line. Okay, let's try 3 colors. We're probably gonna get some loss there. But right away, you can notice, like with 3 colors, just the shape of the path has gotten much cleaner. So let's zoom out just a bit and see. maybe what it's missing. It's not terrible. Let's try 6 colors. Okay. Some small changes there. Let's zoom back in. And you'll notice like we got these little, that may not be 100% meaningful, but it's not like super bad that you get those, because I'll show you how to fix them. But overall, if I had to work with that, I could. We can do sketched art, I think. So that really just oversimplifies things. Line art. Mode, black and white, color. So yeah, that produces some tracing results as well. I'm going to go back to 6 color, I think. And yeah, I think we can work with that. Okay, let's just check here. So you can increase or decrease the number of paths that you create, and of course everything comes at a cost, right? So if I go to a high count of paths, now I'm going to be digging through the weeds trying to separate all the paths from each other. But if I go too low, then I'm going to get less detail. So let's just look at a low path count. Let's see, let's go for the lowest. All right, so if we zoom into this, there's a lot less sharpness on that angle there. Same with this, especially right here around the globe lines. So that's not obviously our solution, but if we go really high, okay, well our paths are still at 200, so that's not bad. We definitely get some jaggedness because it's trying to interpolate the pixelation here, right? So that's not that good. So let's try stepping that down some. Maybe we get, okay, that's a little better. I didn't pay attention to my anchor counts were. It was 3262, 3238. Yeah, that seems to have brought our path or our anchor counts a bit lower. But what did we sacrifice when we did that, right? So I'm just gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to like 50-something%. I'm just gonna work with that. We can make our noise less. And that really didn't have any effect. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say, okay, we're good. So I'm just gonna go ahead and hit the expand button. And the expand button is basically like how you say, okay, finalize it, right? One thing to note is that as soon as you do this, like I can't just select the white around the sides by itself. And this is because when you do a tracing, when you hit expand, everything that the tracing results produces is going to automatically be grouped together. So there's a couple ways that you can go into this and fix it. So the one that's probably the easiest is just a right click and click ungroup. And now you can get just that one corner there. Another way, if I hit Control Z, is to go into the layers. If you want to keep it grouped together, go into your layers and then just do the drop down on this group. And now you'll have to find what specifically you want. So let's try the direct selection tool. So we'll unclick that. And now I can get just that path which has been selected right there. So I get that path, that path, that path. So I'm just delete this. Let's get this one, delete that. Delete this one. That one. Okay. So let's undo this one and view it. And so like boom, right? Now we don't have that disgusting white border all the way around. All right, let's turn the background off. So when we zoom into this, you'll notice that we have some artifacts there, and we can actually get rid of some of these. Let's see here. Delete that one. Okay, so how do we like straighten some things up? Well, I'm sure there's a better answer for this, but the way that I've been doing it pretty much this whole time, like right here, you'll see I've got like this notch that's sort of cut out where this white line meets up with it. So what I'll do normally is go to the anchor that's like you'll see there's an anchor point there, and then there's an anchor point there. Oh, that's a handle. So if I get rid of these two anchor points, then you should end up with like a more straight, more direct line. So I'm just going to delete this one, and I'm going to delete this one, and now we have a straighter line, straight-ish line, right? Let's see here, let's zoom out just a skosh. Okay, and then so we can keep working with this, right? So we got this blue one, so we can drag this blue one, and we can get it to, we want to close that gap right there. So with this selected, I'm going to just make an effort to drag it up, and it should snap to that path there. And then what I'm going to do is go to properties. I'm actually going to make that sharp corner. Same thing with this one. Cool. So, whoopsie. Now, yeah, where was that? Where was it that I was working at just now? So that corner right there, it's a little bit cleaner. Have to do the same thing on this one, and I'm not gonna do like the whole thing. I wouldn't do that to you guys. But it's just to give you some ideas and some tips. So we can bring that right along. So we got this weird thing going on here with this one. Needs to go right there and right straight down, so we get this one. I want this one to intersect that one. This path can go away, or this anchor there, and now that one's straight. Okay, so that's that. Now obviously it's not like the most final solution, but it's better than where we started, and that's most important. If you were being paid to do work like this, then you could almost expect that you're going to spend some time reverse engineering someone's really crazy artwork to, you know, basically do your job and get paid. So let's see, let's try to straighten this one up. I can actually just delete that one and this one. Let's see what's going on here. There, close that one back up. Yeah. Overall, it fits like the design intent, and you get the point. All right. So let's say, in this particular case, let's say you have a client and they're like, you know, that blue, right? We can't use that blue, or maybe I want this patch to be like made in a subdued thing because, you know, whatever, or they just want to change the color of something. Well, the answer for that is actually fairly simple. So you can click on this. I'm actually going to use this selection tool, which is going to be the keyboard shortcut of V. I'm going to right click on this. I'm going to hit select. Actually, it's going to be up here. From menu, we're going to do same, and we're going to say fill color. And now it selects all the items that are blue. And now I can come in here and change them to green or brown if I was making like a subdued patch for the desert, right? Coyote brown. So that's like fairly simple, right? Nothing too complex. Well, let's I'm gonna go ahead and ditch this one for now. We'll try a different logo or different patch altogether. So let's get rid of this one. Do file, place. Let's see, what one would be a good one to attempt? Let's try this First Sergeant Council. I actually need to reverse engineer this anyway. So we have, for my non-military friends, my non-military compadres, we have these people that are called first sergeants, and they're like the glue between all of the enlisted people, or the folks that wear stripes, and all of the officer people, the ones that wear like the stuff on their collars, like the birds and the stars and the leaves and stuff. Anyway, they approached me about a month ago to like help them make some stuff, and I ended up making them stickers that Go Create that they can use for their event that they were having. But just like this artwork, right? I mean, you can tell right off the bat that we've got some massive pixelation issues. Um, and then when you laser engrave it, believe it or not, all of these little specks right here, these show up on the laser engraving, and you can tell you it's like quite evident that this is not something you'd want to have when you're laser engraving. And I've seen this at Go Create. Someone would be like, I just don't get it. No matter what I do, I always get these weird little speckles all over, and it just looks like garbage. Well, this is the reason why. What you can't see, the laser is going to see. So if it's a gradient of, like maybe it's not perfectly white, maybe it's like 5% white, the laser is going to see it and it's going to call you out. And it's going to burn it all over the wood. And no matter what you do, you've got a bad product, right? So I'm going to show you some things that you can do to reverse engineer this. And it's not going to be 100% perfect. For example, I don't have this kind of blue looking flame stuff, but that's okay. So the very first thing I'll do is I'm just going to come in here. I'm going to do the image trace. We'll do a high fidelity photo for now, and I'll try to get. I'm just going to do that for now. Hit expand, and wow, yeah, you can see all those extra outlines of stuff that was completely not needed. So I'm going to ungroup these. We'll start by getting rid of a lot of this superfluous stuff just by dragging some boxes and getting rid of it, deleting. This text is not something that looks very good after the trace. Inside of the letters here, we have little fillers that are weird, odd colors. And that's a good example. So when I did that tracing, I didn't switch it to abutting. I actually had it on overlapping. And so when I got rid of this, sorry, didn't mean to cough in your ear. When I got rid of this little centerpiece here, the A changed shape. It looked like it got nasty or something. And yeah, you could just see tons of little overlapping. We'll get rid of that and get rid of that. If I get rid of this, you can see that was overlapping right there. And this is just all really undesirable things. So I'm going to show you just basically what I would do to reverse engineer this properly. All right. For funsies, if we do Control Y, Control Y again, it basically hides all the fills and the strokes and shows you just the path. And you'll notice that we have holy cow, a ton of extra paths and things that this is just not really ideal if you're trying to work with. So this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lock this layer for now. And I'm going to put a layer above it. And while I got this layer above it, I'm going to go to properties and let's see here. I want to do, let's see, the layout of this has changed some, so bear with me. I want on this layer 3, I'm looking to make the opacity just a bit less. There we go. I want to make the opacity of this layer. I'm going to just kind of make it a little bit transparent. And here's why. So when you have tons of paths like this, it becomes really difficult to like get exactly what you want out of it. So just for case in point, if I start removing a lot of these extra things here, I'm actually going to change the shape of the one. Or if I wanted to do this whole Wichita flag thing right here, if I start trying to get rid of that, it's gonna take too much away. It's gonna take too much away from the shape. So I'm just gonna basically draw over the top of it, and I'm gonna start with a pen tool. Go to properties, and I'm gonna go ahead and set my fill to white for now. And we'll start with this diamond right here in the center. Let's make sure I'm on the right layer. No? Okay, yeah, that's what's going on. I need to delete that. We'll create a new layer. There we go. Got a new layer. So we'll just start by drawing over the top of it. Come over here, go right up to that point there. And I'm using that purple inference line that's to the left of my cursor. That's kind of giving me a help, you know, saying, hey, dude, this is the center. Come over here. It should be right about there. And then I'm going to go ahead and close it off. Okay, perfect. I'm going to go back to properties now. And I'm going to keep that fill. I'm going to keep it 0. But I'm actually going to make my stroke close to what was originally there. So 4 points, and then I want to use the eyedropper tool, and I'm just gonna select this blue. Oh, there was a blue background, so the stroke needs to be this blue. And because I couldn't do that, so I'm going to hold the shift key and click that. No, this is the control. Nope. Alt. Nope. I'm used to the Mac where I can just hold the shift key and click this, but whatever's clever. Go here. I'm just going to try to make that just a wee bit darker. Okay. Alright, so we got our diamond in play now. I'm just going to do a quick... Yeah, we're not doing too bad. Alright, so wouldn't it be cool if I didn't have to redraw the ICT flag? Wouldn't it be dope if I could just like bring the flag in, place it, and then clip it? You can. So here's what I'm going to do. Bear with me, guys. I'm going to get ICT flag. And the flag of Wichita can be found on the Wikipedia site. And as far as I know, they provide the SVG. And I think it's like you can pretty much you can use it. You just attribute the author of the flag. Anyway, so now that I have that saved and you guys didn't see the process of that save, I'm going to go ahead and name my layer 3 to Diamond. Alright. Let's go ahead and hide this for now and show just the diamond. And what I'm going to do with the actual diamond is I'm going to Control C and V. So now I have two diamonds. And what I need to do now is just make sure that they're perfectly aligned over the top of each other. But this first one here, I'm going to I'm actually going to use the top one. Go to properties. I'm going to make my stroke next to nothing. So no fill, no stroke whatsoever. And I'm going to place the Wichita flag. Try to get that mostly right. Alright, so I got that, and then I'm going to shift. Actually, I'm going to bring this one above it. Right. Alright, so let's see here. Properties, fill is 0. Okay, so yeah, realistically I'm going to have to scale this one down just a bit. Okay. So I got this and this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Object. And then I want to do a path. And there is a clipping mask. There it is. Make. And just like that. I didn't have to redraw the flag, but I could if I needed to. Okay, let's see here. There is a need right here, something to do with this. If I go to properties, and so that stroke, a little bit weird. Oh, that's what it is. It's the contents of the flag not quite getting the whole coverage there. So what do we do about that? So we can go to this clip group and we can say in this clip group, object clipping mask, edit contents, and now we can drag that flag around and we can scale it. Okay, so we're editing like what's inside the shape of this diamond. We're not editing the diamond, we're just editing its shape, or like its content. So what I might have to do to get this to work even better, what I might need to do, because I want that red to extend out. Because if we look at like if I hide this, hide that, and that red goes all the way out, and that blue circle is placed in such a way. So I want to show that, unshow that. Okay, so we can scale that up some, but not too much. So let's go ahead and scale up this. Oops. Object, clipping mask, edit contents. We can scale that up. And then what I might need to do, on this, what I might need to do is go to properties, image trace, 3 colors, expand. Let's go ahead and nope. We got a compound path there. Let's try the direct selection tool, which is keyboard shortcut A. Let's hit the plus key right next to the delete or backspace key. Let's add a path right there. Go back to the direct selection tool. We're just gonna go ahead and make this come out to a point. And it's like completely unnecessary. But oops, let's not do that. We don't want to change that shape terribly if I can avoid it. Okay, maybe I can get away with this. So we still have a need to like fix some things. So whatever, I'm gonna go back into layers, get my clipping group. I should have a path. What is that? That's the center. Compound path. What is that? Okay, that's not bad. So let's ditch that for now. And then let's just cheat by placing this over the top, and then with this one selected, we'll go back to our properties. We'll make the fill 0, and there we go. We got our diamond fixed. So I wonder if there's a way on this path, because the original, it appeared that the original didn't have like such sharp corners. So on this we can do, let's do a 2-point radius. No? You didn't like that? Okay, so that's that one. What are you fighting me about? Okay. Let's lock this and let's lock that. Let's try just to directly work with. You being so difficult, dude. Properties, stroke. Okay, fine. If you don't particularly like the stroke, or if you don't particularly like this, here's something you could do. You can go to Object, expand appearance. And what that does is instead of it being a stroke, it's going to be like a compound shape. So you'll notice that now I don't have like a line here. So if I do Control Z, now it's a stroke. Oh, no way. Did that just fix it? Let's see. Yep, look at that. Just like that. Okay, so now we have a little bit of an issue with that, but we can fix it. We can totally fix it. Clip group. Show, unlock. Select this path. And let's modify it. Okay, our direct selection tool or the path tool. Come on, dude. Okay. Let's put that right there. There we go. Very good. Okay, so just like that, diamond is done. Pretty happy with that. And now I'm just going to create a new layer. I want this to be underneath the diamond because that's where the number 1 is. So if I show the 1, all right, let's go ahead and lock and hide the diamond for now. And for the 1, we're just gonna do this. Well, there's a couple ways we could do this. So I don't want to waste your guys' time, but I want to show you different methods, different ways to approach solving the problem. So let's try the first one first, the first and most easiest one, the number 1. Let's see, we'll go to properties, and this is gonna have a serif. So it's probably gonna be something like that. Let's check. Let's make the size huge. Control A. All right, let's filters. I want serif. No. So Rockwell bold is a little too much. It's got too much thickness to it. Rockwell is no good. So let's go to this Baskerville. Too much of a slant. And like literally you're doing this stuff, nonstop. You're contrasting and comparing it to what you're trying to do. So you'll notice like this one, the little like the angle at the top of the one has a slight curve to it, whereas the original one does not. So we're just sitting here trying to find something that gets us as close to Elephants Engraver. That's not too bad. Of course, in a perfect world, they would just like tell us, hey, we designed it with this font base, but nothing's perfect. So Microsoft Himalaya seems to be fairly close. So cool. We'll do that. We'll make it super big. Okay. I wonder, so there is not a bold version of this, but that's okay. So for this one, If you've ever wanted to be able to like edit your text, if you wanted to change the shape of a font, or maybe you want to modify something about it, in Adobe Illustrator it's really easy. Hold the Control key, the Shift key, and the zero or the O key. There we go. And now instead of being a letter that you can edit, now it is a it's a series of paths. So what I'm going to do is just center that a little bit, and now I have like the basic shape of my one available, and I'm going to just use it to my advantage to create this artwork for the First Sergeant stuff. So I want to get it placed roughly about right, and then I'm going to come in with my path tool. I'm going to get this one, and actually, so I can get rid of this one because they don't really have. So I'm going to place it over there. Let's do this. Let's get rid of that one. Let's get rid of that one. That one. I'm going to drag that right about there. I'm going to drag this one right about there. I'm just doing some curve fitting. I wonder if this path and this path are perfectly aligned, and the way to do that is to hold the Shift key and select your first one and your second one, and then when you go to align, you're going to make sure that it's to either selection or key anchor. I'm going to go ahead and hit key anchor. That's good. Select that one to be my key. Oops. What's going on here, guys? Okay, and I'm just going to make sure that they're vertically aligned to each other. And that makes this part easier. So there's this old movie, came out in the 90s. And I'm saying old because only a certain few of us will know what I'm talking about. It's called Miss Doubtfire. And there's a scene in there of this old dude who is supposed to be teaching kids about dinosaurs. He's super monotone and extremely boring, and that could be me. So if that's the case, I do apologize, kind of. You're the one who tuned into this, not me. So I'm going to switch to the delete path tool, which is the minus key right next to the arrow, or sorry, right next to the 0 on your keyboard. And I just want to get rid of a couple of these paths and go back to the A key, which will bring us to the direct selection tool. Bring that path right there. Just try to line it up with its friends, and I'm going to drag the handle here to sort of smooth that curve out somewhat. And let's make this one and this one, let's make them be friends. This one actually need to do a conversion, which if you press and hold here or hold Shift and C at the same time, you can do a conversion, which I kind of boogered that up a little bit. So go A key. All right, now Shift and C, and we're going to drag this handle to do the curve, and now go back to the A key. And so now these handles are independent of each other. And so I just want to make sure that these are straight. All right, let's Control minus to zoom out, and we'll bring this one over, get it to line up with its friend up here. So shift, select both anchors, line them up. And again, we can get rid of some of these extra anchor points by doing the minus trick. On your keyboard, go back to A, direct selection, bring this path up here, and manipulate so that it fits that curve. And voila, we have a number 1, but it doesn't have that like outline, that border outline. So I'm actually going to do something that I've never done before. I'm going to, let's see, first of all, let's show our diamond. Let's hide our old one. Okay, it's not bad, but it's not good. Okay, there's something I want to use the eyedropper tool with my number 1 selected. I want to use the eyedropper tool to get the blue. Let's see here, Control Y. So we're missing our closing path right there. Easy fix. Switch to the pen tool, click on the first anchor, drag up to the top anchor, and problem solved. Control Y, and now we have a complete one. But I actually didn't need to do that with this whatsoever. That was probably the not correct move. Let's switch the stroke back to black, and we're going to make it a little bit thinner. There's a little bit of a weirdness right here, so I need to fix that. There is a lack of something. It's like that one and that one need to be aligned. And then from there, I need these 2 handles to behave. That looks a little better. Okay, but I want the fill of it to be that weird blue color. So let's make sure that's selected. Change the fill to that weird blue color. Use the eyeball dropper to, darn it. Let's try something else. Let's unlock this. Oops. I'm just hitting the wrong stuff. Properties. And this stroke color. Let's create a new. So 100, 122. Fine. Let's do it the old school way. I was trying to create a swatch, but I can't remember how to do that. So we'll go 100 here. Cool. So now that matches. Let's see. So let's go ahead and hide our diamond. We'll lock it. Show the original number 1. And what I want to do now is that thing that I've never done before. So I'm going to go to object. Make sure it's selected here. So object, path, outline stroke. Never done this before, so I'm probably going to embarrass myself like a lot. Let's do something that's just blatantly obvious. That's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted at all. Okay, fair. So we'll do this instead. We'll click this. We're gonna do object path, offset path, preview. We can do round. That looks really bad. I feel like I didn't Control Z enough. That's probably what it was. So, object path, offset path. What is going on, dude? That does not look very cool at all. No, cancel. So, all right. Object, maybe its appearance? I don't know. Let's see, properties. Hold on, I'm gonna mute my mic because my daughter is stomping and it's shaking the entire ceiling. Okay, so let's continue. Let's put the stroke on the outside. There we go. Now we're cooking. Like I said, it's not gonna be perfect, but we can do something with this, right? I want to do let's see, maybe miter joints, or there we go. That's a little better. So now that I have that, let's try to do object, expand appearance on the stroke. And now I should have layer one group, and now I have this compound path. So with the direct edit, or the direct selection tool, I am now going to attempt to do some curve fitting, or get these things just to line up just a smidge better. Oh, come on. Let's use this to get rid of that, and go back to direct selection. Once you understand the hotkeys on the keyboard, the shortcut keys, it's going to make your life way better. You're going to be way more fast and efficient in Adobe Illustrator. So we can get rid of that one because it's too much. Bring that one over here. Okay, we got that handle. Go back to properties here. I just want to smooth that out. I can probably even get rid of this one as well and go back here and put that right on the center of the curve and modify. Bring that in some. Nice. Not too bad. Not terrible. Round that off. Rounded those off. I think there's one more. This can stand to be rounded some. Sharp, round. What is going on, guys? So let's hide that. That is weird that I'm only getting that one handle, but whatever, who cares? It's good enough for government work, as they say. All right, put our diamond over the top of it. As you can see, we still have that weird little issue that we don't have a background, and that's because I deleted something that I didn't need to delete. So quick fix for that is just to select the path. Just that one path, and I'm going to Control C and V, and then make sure that that path, as well as the other path, and I'm just going to make sure that they're aligned to each other. Dumb. Okay, let's do this first. Let's make our properties right so we can tell what we're doing. Cool. Let's take this one and drag it below. Make sure that that has no stroke, because that's what's really tripping me up right now. Oh Lord. Okay. Now to get back to that weird, crazy number one, right? So that compound path. There is this thing, this appearance thing, that we can come in here with the fill, and we can experiment with effects. So let's try to play with those some. I never really I never really tried to do this. Let's see. Sketch. No. No. Usually I'll design this by hand, you know, making some kind of glow or some nonsense like that. So let's try effects here. There was this 3D extrude and bevel. No, that's definitely not what we wanted. I just want to do an emboss. I'm so used to using CS6, things were like super easy for me to find. And now they're not. Drop shadow, maybe. Well, that might be one way to do it. Warp. Yeah. Yeah, go figure. It's not 100% cool. But we're starting to go long on this, right? So I'm just trying not to have you guys just fall apart on me and go, please shut up, dude. You talk too long. Let's hide that one and just see. Yeah, like honestly, there's some more things that could be done on this to make it look better. So where's that path at? Let's put a black stroke on that thing. Let's change the color to black. Or maybe not black, maybe like a really so on this we'll try see if we can do that same inner glow nonsense to make it look like fake fire stuff in it. No, not really. Okay, whatever's clever. See, stylize, outer glow, cancel. Nope, dude. Cancel. Okay. Alright, so the last, like seriously the last thing I'm going to do, because this has gone way, way too long. The last thing that I'm going to do is go ahead and I'm going to lock that up, and then I'm going to create a new layer on top, and I'm going to generate the circles needed to do these first art and council things. So I'm going to make a big circle. Let's go ahead and get it roughly in the center of the thing here. We want it to kind of be in the middle of like the McConnell Air Force Base and the First Sergeant Council thing. And that looks about right. Go back to properties. I need no fill whatsoever. So there's one circle. I'm going to control C and V, and you'll see why in a second. So I have two circles now. And then with my most recent circle created, I'm going to do text or type on a path tool, and I'm going to put first, let's go ahead and make it all caps because that's what they did. First, SERGANT, council, council. Okay, let's select that. We're going to make it much, much, much smaller. And let's go to our filters and just make it nice and simple. It's really looks like more square words, so we don't want to use something that is super ornate. That looks good. Shrink that down. All right. And we'll go to type on a path. We'll go to options, and remember from last week, there's like some aligning things you can do. So right now it's on the baseline, so we can go center and click preview. And now you'll see it's like a little closer to being there. So we'll just make that a bit smaller. Okay, and then we have our beginning and end things, so we'll just make an effort to actually what I'm going to do is just, this is cheating for sure, but effective. What I did there is I just brought my beginning and my end to the center of the document, and then just told it to go center alignment, and then make it a little bigger, and we're like pretty close. We can of course do things, you know, like changing the height or the spacing of the letters. So let's go ahead and add the last one. So we go to layers, and I'm going to go here and just lock that one out so it's not selectable, and get my next one. And same deal. I'm going to type on a path. I'm going to put MCC. MCCONNELL, comma, oops, AFB, comma, KS. All right, so you might notice that it's like if it's on the wrong side, right? So let's try this. Let's do this. Come on. Don't be difficult. So let's grab this one. Let's grab that one and put it on the center. Do the same thing here. Put it on the center. Type on a path. Type on a path. Options. We'd want to do center, flip, preview. Then just drag it around, get it centered right there. Cool. Make it a little bit smaller and change the aligning. Try to get that a little bit closer. All right, so here we go. Lock this out, hide that. We have a, like, I probably, honestly, if I really seriously needed to do this, I'd spend a lot more time like trying to get the appearance of the number one a little bit more accurate. And then I would talk to the First Ardent Council and be like, hey guys, we need better rockers on the top and the bottom. But I just wanted to like show you some tips and techniques for reverse engineering logos and really bad artwork that's given to you from someone who's expecting you to create something for them. It's applicable on the military side of things for all my military viewers. You're going to be given a lot of these things. You'll have some old crusty tech sergeant walk up to you and be like, here's the file that we created in 1994, and I need you to make this for our website or for our patch or something. And on the civilian side of things, you'll have customers give you really bad logos. And they're not bad as in the logo itself is bad. They're bad in the fact that the artwork is terrible and almost not really that easy to work with. So hopefully this helps. And if you don't if there's something that you need me to cover a little bit more in depth, just comment on the videos, and I will make an effort to address that on next week's video. So next week, I don't know that I'm actually going to return to Adobe Illustrator. I will probably move into either Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator. And then after that, I'll move into something else, probably like Eagle Cat or something. I don't know. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that nonsense that people usually say on YouTube. And I will be looking for comments and suggestions. And of course, if you don't want to post that kind of stuff out publicly, you can always feel free to reach out to the Go Create director and facility people and let them know what you would like to see, and then I will do my best to address your hopes and your dreams. All right. Have a good night, everyone. Cheers.